Hey guys, this is Pastor Jordan here. I know a team that I'm missing my second week of junior high youth, and I am actually a little bummed about that. So I just want you guys to know that I'm praying for you. I'm thinking about you, thinking about your small group night. Been processing a lot of different things, but wanted to give you a quick thought. I met with Leanne this last week, and she was talking a little bit about a wrestle that has been happening as she's been doing one-on-ones with students. They're bringing forward things that are just a little bit more challenging to work with and deal with. And so I just want to give you some tips and thoughts as you're thinking about doing one-on-ones with your students this week. So we've got two approaches, okay? Approach number one is this. You're thinking ahead of time who you want to have one-on-one with. And so if you're approaching it that way, then what I want to encourage you is just to prepare your heart in a couple ways. Before you actually get to that one-on-one conversation on Thursday night, what I'd like to see you do is to pray ahead. To pray ahead and ask God these two questions. Who do you want me to spend time with, and what do you want me to talk with them about? And a lot of times that what is a question that I want to ask them, or sometimes that what is an affirming. I want to affirm, man, you're a leader. I see this in you. I want you to know it's really cool. Sometimes it's actually just even what is a piece of scripture that as you're praying for that kid that came to your mind and you want to share that with them. And so sometimes what I'll do is I'll just write that down on a 3x5 card. I'll do my one-on-one. I'll ask them some questions, then I'll tell them what I felt like God wanted me to give them, and then off we go. And then I end that time with like prayer and just praying for them. So that can be a short one-on-one where you get some time. You're like, "How you doing?" And then you've got something specific. The second route that you might go is you're not sure who you want to talk to, and so a kid will say, "I want to talk." And sometimes it happens is like even with Leanne's situation where a kid comes and they like dump their whole soul, and it's like big stuff. And how do we help those kids process, and what is our role in that? And so first thing I just say to you is this: when those are situations, it is not your job to be a counselor. You're not a counselor. I'm not a counselor. It's our job just to care. And so how do we best care? And I'll give you just a couple steps. Quick is when a kid shares something really significant with us, the first thing we got to recognize is how we react will make all of the difference in the world. If we react in a way of kid says, "Hey, I've been really struggling with porn," and we react in a way of like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" We react that way, that kid may never share anything ever again. And so we always react to students in the way of, I use this line, "I'm really honored that you would feel comfortable to share that with me. That's really tough." And I really validate the fact that it's a big deal that they've shared, and that they know when they come to share with me, there's not going to be any judgment, no condemnation, but I'm just here I've listened. Sometimes there's this little piece of like helping them work through and walk through repentance in some things that they shared, but for the most part, it's like, thanks for sharing with me. So that'd be number one. Number two is you immediately after you affirm, it is like data collecting time. So I go into question mode. I ask them questions. I ask them questions about what's going on. I try to dig deeper. I use my curiosity to just ask, when you're dealing with that, what have you tried? And then they lay out what they've tried. Sometimes I really like the question, if you were in my shoes and you were the youth leader and I was a student, what would you tell me? Or let's say, what would your best friend tell you? Those are some great questions to just get them thinking through. And then what we will keep doing is just keep digging. Questions are our greatest tool when listening to kids, because our biggest thing that we're trying to do is validate their pain and make them feel listened to. So then finally, at the very end, after you've really drawn things out, sometimes if you have a thought, you don't have to have a thought. You can just listen. But if God gives you a thought of maybe a piece of advice or a piece of scripture, it's just real brief. Hey, as you're sharing this, what I'm thinking about. And I just want to encourage you with that. And can I pray for you? And then I wrap that up. And then I would probably, depending on what the issue is, it gives me a great opportunity to follow up in the next couple weeks. So that is how I would really process through one-on-one conversations. Hope your week is great with your groups, that you have some great one-on-one conversations. We'll get you some Joneses to be able to leverage those. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. Okay, later.